What's good, everybody? It's the OG Bronknut 719. West. I give some time for people to join the stream, but tonight I want to talk about Trump's big win, the fake dossier from Russia, and who's got to pay going forward, because this is a disgrace of what happened, and this needs to get rectified. And I want to see what all your guys' thoughts and wishes of what you want to see happen going in the future. So tonight, unfortunately, there's not going to be any sports talk on the OG Bronknuts' channel. We're going straight political tonight. I plan on going for at least a half an hour to an hour, and maybe even a little more. We'll see who comes in the stream and what kind of conversation gets generated. But definitely, I want to talk about the fake Russia scam, the fake news, and now who's going to be on the chopping block, because now the tables are turned. And what's up, Angelo Martelli? Sorry, man. I'm actually trying to pull up the live stream here on my computer so I can see the chat a lot easier. And then I'll be able to read your guys' comments. Now I got it. So, Angelo, what do you think about this? There's no sports talk, no Broncos tonight. What do you think about this fake Russian dossier and the fact that the Department of Justice and Robert Mueller took almost 700 days of just wasted taxpayers' money and clouded our airwaves full of just trash, getting everybody all riled up and thinking that, Trump did all these bad things. And now to come to find out, not only was it not him, it's most likely the other side. And man, is this going to be, to tell you the truth, I have never been this interested in politics in my whole life. I'm really never have been interested in really political things, but in the last probably 10 years, I've really gotten interested in it. And to tell you the truth, I think this coming year, I'm more interested to watch the politics of what's going to happen in America than I am the NFL season, because big things are about to go down, and America is about to get woke up and shook, because big things are going to happen. And somebody's going to have to pay for this, because I'm telling you, Trump is not a guy that's going to take this lying down. And he's not going to be okay that they put his family. And I mean, look, the news organizations, when Trump took office, were all saying, this is going to be the first president whose whole family and cabinet gets escorted out of the White House in handcuffs. And what's going to end up happening is all these liberal lefties and all these Democrats who were involved in this scam, this collusion against Trump, they're the ones going to be in handcuffs, because the table's about to get flipped and a debt needs to be collected, and Trump is here to collect. In my opinion, I mean, this is a disgrace. And seeing Trump today, even on TV, where he said, it was like a little 1-minute snippet about it, where you could tell that he was like bummed out that this had to actually happen, that we had to go almost 700 days of this, when everybody who did any research or knows that the deep state is real understood that this was fake and phony from the very beginning, from the jump, and that they weren't fooling nobody. So, Raging Rob, they are the dumbest people on the planet. I mean dumb. And it's a shame, because most of America, well, not most, I'm going to say half of America is asleep. The other half who's awake, I think they're only about 50% awake. I mean, the deep state is real, and there is horrible human beings in our country that would rather see America go down before they would rather lose to Trump. And so far, I think not only has Trump been a great president, I think he's on track to become the greatest president the United States has ever seen. Now, he's got to follow through a lot more from here with draining the swamp and taking some of these criminals down and putting people in jail and sending them to Guantanamo Bay and putting them up in front of military tribunals. Like, a message has to get sent that if you commit treason against the United States of America, the penalty is death. And there ain't no way around it. It's death. And we should all, as Americans, cheer for death to politicians who committed treason against our nation, no matter who you like. Look, man, a lot of you out there might think that, oh, Bronknuts is a Republican. No, I'm not. I'm anti-government. To tell you the truth, the honest to God truth, just have all my chips on the table. I voted for Obama the first time. And the reason why, he fooled me. He conned me. A good, slick, talking con man conned me. He got me, I'll admit it. But then I figured it out. I figured out what was really going on. And John McCain was no better. I mean, he's a horrible American too. I mean, you really look into John McCain and his background and the things that happened over his career as an American, and man, it's not the way the news media tells you. And so I think Trump so far has done a fantastic job, and I think he's going to continue to do a good job. I think more Americans are waking up. People are rallying. They're going to rally around him. And my prediction is Donald Trump is going to win the 2020 election by the widest margin that's ever been won in the history of the presidency in this country. He's going to win overwhelmingly easy. We might as well not even have an election. That's how good he's going to do in the 2020 election. Now, I know that because my channel is mainly a sports channel, there's probably not going to be a lot of people in the stream. And I also know that YouTube is going to shadow ban what I'm saying here tonight. They're going to make sure that it doesn't get a lot of views, because anytime I do a video that's not exactly along the thought process of the liberal elite or CNN, or anytime I'm even wearing this hat, that I hardly get that much exposure or action on the video, but I could care less. All I'm doing is using you, YouTube, to host this video so I can post it over on Steemit.com for the awake people in the world who actually know what's going on, because they can appreciate things like this. Now, I'm not saying everybody on Steemit.com is a Trump's fan, because I know people aren't Trump fans, and that's okay. That's okay. It's okay if you don't like Trump. I don't hate you because you don't like Trump. I don't dislike you because you disagree with the things Trump does or the thing Trump says. All I do is wonder, man, how much time has this person really put in to understanding that the deep state is real? It's real. And a lot of people colluded to make this happen. And it's time to pay the meter. It's time to pay the meter. There's no getting off easy. And I'm talking about all of them, right? All the way from Maxine Waters to Nancy Pelosi to definitely the Clintons, probably the Bushes, most definitely the Obamas, the Podestas. John Brennan himself, Schiff, all of them, right? That guy from the FBI, Strozak or whatever his name was. Like, it's time for all of them to pay. All of them. And anybody who is involved in this, it's time for us to hold their feet to the fire. And don't get fooled in 2020, right? Because, it's going to be the same thing that we always see, tons of campaign commercials, bunch of people slinging mud and lying, saying things. And what are they going to do now? I mean, you listen to these Democrats now, they're like, well, we want to see the whole report. Well, be careful what you wish for, because who knows what's in that report. What I think is in that report is the incriminating evidence that Mueller had against himself and the rest of a lot of other Democrats, and that's why he released a briefing of it, because he doesn't want to release it for everybody. No, because it implicates him too. And Trump didn't do nothing, and we knew it from the very beginning. Trump won this presidency the hard way. He got on planes. Look, the guy's in his 70s. You know any 70-year-olds that got the energy Donald Trump has? He flew to one city, to another city, to another city, to another city, sold out campaign rallies. Meanwhile, at everybody else's rallies, it's crickets, and they wouldn't show the crowd. Donald Trump is right when he says it's fake news. All of it's fake. All of it. It ain't just CNN. It ain't just Fox. It ain't just CNBC. It's all of them. Look, I cut the cord, cut my cable off last week, and it's the best thing I ever did. And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you what really drove me over the edge where I said, no more. I'm done. It's enough. Is that, I never expected Fox News to tell me the 100% truth about what was really going on. I don't expect any news organization to do that, because I believe, the news media is owned by about 4, 5, 6 people, and you can get to those 4, 5, 6 people so you can package what you want Americans to hear, because they've been trained to turn on the box and just take it as the gospel. But when I looked at Fox News, I knew I wasn't getting told the truth 100% of the time, but I thought, man, I'm probably getting told the truth at least 50, unlike CNN News where you're getting 99% lies. I mean, there is no truth on that channel. And by the way, if anybody wants to know how CNN got even started, go watch a little documentary called Bombs Over Baghdad. Right? Kind of a sketchy way where no other news stations could film this, but they got a wire out in Baghdad that allowed them to film it, and that's how CNN was born, the Clinton News Network. But when when Fox News decided to hire Donna Brazile, who softballed the questions and leaked the questions during the campaign last year, the debates, to Hillary, and then lied about it and said she didn't do it, and they also hire Paul Ryan, who is definitely not a Trump supporter, a traitor. I can't even trust their news organization. So I had to cut the cord, and I just said, no more. I'm not taking any more of it. I'm not letting you charge me $150 a month to sit there and lie to me and try to brainwash me. I mean, because that brainwashing that they're using is working on most people, but it don't work on me. My shield is so thick, I'm almost impossible to be brainwashed by the government at this point. Is the earth flat? Kyle, you know what? I don't know. I've seen arguments on both sides, but I'd say anything is possible, that there's all kinds of everything that you think is real isn't real. I think there's a lot of that in our world, so I haven't studied it enough because to me it's not that important to say whether it is or whether it isn't. But I mean, if I had to put my money down on something, I'm going with the earth is round. Okay, I'm not a flat earther. But I mean, I don't know. I'd have to watch a lot and be convinced. And I don't know, what that would take. But, as far as the deep state and these things, I've been what people want to call me, I guess you say, a conspiracy theorist. I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist because I'm not a theorist. This is fact. These things are facts that are happening. They're happening. Nothing out there is real. Now, I think it's real mixed with truth, what people call false flags, right? I think that happened in Las Vegas with the shooting, just recently in New Zealand. I mean, in New Zealand, they don't want anybody even to own the video to watch it. It's 10 years in jail. And if you post it on a website, it's 14 years in jail. What do you not want me to see? New Zealand government? What do you not want us to see? Do you not want us to catch the false flag and all the screw-ups in that video and expose it to everybody else and wake people up that there's a shooting, and then how coincidentally, literally 5 minutes after the shooting, your prime minister, your head of security, they come on and they call for gun control. The gun laws are going to change in this country immediately. That's the first thing they said. Same thing they do here, especially when Hillary Clinton was on the Hill. And it's just disgusting that there's so much fakery and trickery going on in this world that everything out there, what you think it is, it's not that. It's something totally different. It's a game of smoke, mirrors, and trick photography. And it's hard to understand. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. I kind of started uncovering things with our government in 2006. I started really questioning 9/11 because none of it made any sense to me. And I just felt like the official story that we were being told was impossible to happen. And I don't know a whole lot about science or physics, but I know a lot about common sense. And what I saw, I was like, that don't make no damn sense. And so I started looking into it. And of course, now Google and their algorithms has it rigged that when you type in, 9/11 conspiracy, what it'll do is it'll take you to a site that debunks 9/11 conspiracy theorists, so that you don't ever get to see what you really went to go see in the first place. And they do that for everything. Google and YouTube, and they're evil empires. I mean, they really are. I mean, I almost think they're really a direct arm of the CIA. And that's why I don't use things like Facebook. I hate really posting videos on here on YouTube. I do mainly because this is where I got started. But I post a lot of videos on D.Tube now. I don't know if you guys know about D.Tube, but D.Tube stands for Decentralized Tube. It's built on the Steem blockchain. And so now you cannot be censored over there. I mean, if you post a video or you post anything that you want, the community, the people who hold Steem power like me, get to decide what's good and what's not good. I mean, it's really a democratic system. It's a fair system. And so, people did post videos of that New Zealand shooter's first person cam that was on his helmet over there. And some people downvoted it and some people upvoted it. Some people said, hey, I want this on the blockchain. Some people said, no, we don't want this on the blockchain. What's up, gambler? We don't want this on the blockchain. So, it's there. It's all out there if you want to see it. But that's really where I'm posting a lot of my videos, because it's important for us to share ideas and share information, because there is an enormous amount of corruption going on, and it runs so deep and so dark. It's so sick that when you really get into it and you really start looking at, and there's a lot of facts. This isn't just some, slicks and snake oil salesman who's got a good channel and who's a good talker that's fooling me, because I maybe have to watch 100 different viewpoints and ideas before I can formulate my own. But I can tell you, I put an enormous amount of research into looking into what's really going on in the world, not just with our own government, but world governments, right? I mean, the Illuminati, so to speak, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Federal Reserve. I mean, this is where it all begins. All wars are bankers' wars. It's always over money. It's always about the money, and it always has been about the money and the power since the medieval times, since the days of Jesus. That's what it's all been about. And it's just sad that our country had to go through something like this. I mean, they drug our president's name through the mud. They accused him of everything that they could possibly accuse him of. And, said that he was a racist. It was unbelievable, the things that were coming out against Trump. And look, I'm not making excuses for Trump. Is Trump dirty? I'm sure he is. I'm sure Trump's done some dirty business deals, and he's probably cheated a little bit, and he's probably shook some greasy hands, and he probably had sex with Stormy Daniels. But none of that I really care about, because I think that to get in the Oval Office, you got to be dirty. There's no way to play fair and get all the way to the Oval Office, and I think that's unfortunate. And hopefully someday in our country it changes, but I doubt it ever will. But I think Trump is probably the cleanest president that we've had in this country in a long, long time. And that's not saying much, because now you look at what Democrats and liberals want to do. Well, show us the whole report. Well, now we want to see now they're focused on, they want to see Trump's tax returns. You ain't going to see his tax returns, snowflakes. You know why? Because they're hidden, and you're never going to see them. Oh, where are they hidden? They're hidden right underneath Barack Obama's fake birth certificate and his phony college entrance exams and his whole phony fake life. That's where it's hidden, and that's why you ain't never going to see them. Somebody's going to have to pay for this, because Trump's going to start chopping heads, believe me. The Department of Justice is going to start cracking the whip, and they're going to bust this story wide open, and heads are going to roll. Heads are going to roll, because there was a lot of people involved in this. There really was. Thanks for everybody joining the stream, man. I think if only we were 18 again. I agree, gambler. I agree. It's just it's a sad thing. It really is, and I never wanted to believe that 9/11 was an inside job. I never wanted to believe that the Sandy Hook shooting didn't happen exactly the way their story says. Look, I'm not saying no kids didn't die. I really believe they did. Just like I think people died in Las Vegas, and I think people died in New Zealand, and I think they die in all these shootings, the Orlando nightclub, all of them. But I think that there's some actors mixed in, some different situation where something's going on live and something's going on as a training at the same time to create confusion. That happened on 9/11 when our fighters on Langley Air Force Base were up in the air practicing for a terrorist attack. Meanwhile, Dick Cheney, the vice president, was right here in Colorado Springs at NORAD, about 5 minutes from my house, and took over first command at NORAD, which has never been done in the history of the presidency. He's the one calling the shots on 9/11. So when you look at all these anomalies, that there's always something that is happening that's a training, why something real is going down at the same time. People need to start waking up to this, because there's so many people that are just sleeping with their head buried in the sand. They really are. And the world is not what you think it is. It's not. And there's nothing, when people say, well, okay, well, tell me about it. Look, I got almost 15 years invested in this every single day, at least 3 hours, 4 hours a day, and I've never missed a day yet. Never missed a day. I do an unbelievable amount of study. And I think we got big things on the horizon for America. One is the cleaning our house politically. But I think we're going to see, in our lifetime, people, I really think we're going to see a change in the dollar. Whether the dollar goes down, the dollar goes away, the dollar gets hyperinflated even more till it goes away. But I think the dollar is closer to its last days than it is to its beginning days. For something that you guys might not know, in the history of mankind, there have been about 700 fiat currencies. Now, if you don't know what a fiat currency is, that's it's a piece of money, a piece of paper that a government or a central bank can print that's not backed by anything. Well, in 1971, when we went off the gold standard here, 71, I think, was the Bretton Woods and went off the gold standard. When we did that, our money became fiat because it wasn't backed by anything. Essentially, it was backed by our military, right? Because it was the petrodollar. We were telling other countries, listen, Saudi Arabia, we'll protect you. We'll take care of you. You're just a little country. You don't have no jets or nuclear weapons or an army like we do, but you got a lot of resources. So as long as you make all these other countries change their currency into United States dollars first before they buy your oil, we'll make sure nobody messes with you. That's what our money was backed by, but that's no more. The BRICS banks has been funded with $150 billion. Talking about Iran, Russia, China, Brazil, Kazakhstan. There's several of them that are in there, and now they've gone through a de-dollarization process. They're buying oil and they're not paying for it in dollars. So eventually our dollar's going to get hurt. The Fed just came out and said they're not going to raise rates. That made the price of gold take off, and I think we're going to see the dollar start to, they desperately need hyperinflation. So what I see coming for our country in the next few years is, one, just the swamp continue to be drained, things being exposed. Trump's going to win massively in 2020. It's not even going to be a contest, especially now, because Trump can do whatever he wants now. He's in full control of this country right now. Now, he was before, but he was battling some demons. Those demons have been exonerated, and now he's going to start cracking the whip. You're going to see a different side of Donald Trump. And don't think he's going to take this lion down, because he's been in many battles before, and this is a hella big one. But he's going to come out swinging, because that's just the type of guy he is. I don't see anybody in the Democratic Party that can even hold a candle to Trump going this year. Who are they going to get? Joe Biden has such a bad past and so many sketchy videos out there of him putting his kids all over children on TV inside the White House that is just creepy. And not only that, but a lot of things he's got in his past, that's going to hurt him. Hillary, I hope that two-time loser gets off the bench, because this time, you think the chance of lock her up last time Hillary Clinton allowed, and I know you're watching this, Hillary, because you always want to know what I have to say. The chance of lock her up this time are going to be deafening. The best thing for you to do is stay on the bench and keep your family out of politics for the rest of your life, and hope that Trump doesn't figure out a way to hang you and your sketchy husband from the Statue of Liberty. If I was 18 again, in today's world, the gambler says, what business would I go into? Where would I invest? Well, I'll tell you, technology, to tell you the truth, just straight up technology, because the changes that have been made in the world since I was 18. Look, when I was 18 years, I'm 48 right now. So when I was a senior in high school, computers were just now coming out. You had the floppy disks, and there weren't a lot of programs. You had some basic ones like Excel and WordPerfect and all of those that were out. But the era of computing and internet and all of that hadn't really taken off. And I think that you could have put money pretty much anywhere in the technology sector, as long as you were in solid, at least, ideas, or had a product behind it. And I think you could have just made killer amounts of money if you were in that. But of course, people say you can't ever go wrong with property. You can. Property has crashed before, and it probably will again. But that would have been a safe place to put the cash. And and now going forward, if you want to know what I think it's smart to be in, I think you're smart to be in hard assets. Anything that you have that's paper asset, and whether you're in the stock market, 401k, holding the actual dollar itself, a bond, anything that's traded and it's tied to a paper asset, know that all of those assets are traded in billions of derivatives. Think of an inverted triangle, right? So at the top of that inverted triangle, you have a 40 probably $1 trillion derivatives market that is sitting that the biggest chunk of that. Underneath that, like corporate assets, underneath that, like national or securities, American treasuries, underneath that, probably physical cash itself, a well-rated, regulated stock market right underneath the derivatives. And down at the bottom of that triangle is gold, right, which has been money for 6,000 years. I think eventually the derivatives market breaks and it starts to implode and the domino effect takes over, and a lot of people are going to be rushing into safe haven assets. So at least you're holding something of physical value instead of a piece of paper with green paint on it, because that's all the dollar is. The only reason the dollar's valuable is because you still believe it's worth $100 and what it will buy, and so do I. Look, I still use dollars. I have to. But I'm not saving a whole bunch of money in the bank or saving a whole bunch of money in paper assets, because if you do that, you're just a sheep. You're a sucker waiting to get taken down. So in the future, I look to see that money becomes more solid, and I think Trump's about that. I think that we can possibly see Trump make a play at kicking the Federal Reserve in the knees, if not all the way taking him down, exposing him. I think that this is going to happen, especially in his next term. Once he gets elected, then you're really going to see the chains come off, and Trump's going to go buck wild and make radical changes to this country, and they need it because it's been corrupted. Look, the government is nothing but a gang, really. That's all they are. It's just a gang. They're a corrupt gang. They're no different than the Hells Angels, the Crips, the Bloods, MS-13, none of them. That's all it is. It's just they wear suits and they got nice haircuts and clean shaves and a $2,000 suit and tie, and they're polished in the way they speak and their mannerisms and the way they handle an audience and crowds. But it doesn't mean that when you peel all that up that what you really got is a gangster. Now, in every gang, they're able to be infiltrated, right? Just like the Hells Angels were infiltrated, so has the FBI has been infiltrated. I think that there's good people in our government and there's bad, and I think the good guys are winning. And I think they're going to continue to win, and I think things are going to get really interesting because the water's starting to boil, the rats are starting to scurry, the cockroaches are starting to hide, and they're all going to be pointing the finger at each other, trying to save their own ass. I mean, I think that's what's really going to happen. What's up, Hog Farmer? A Fizzle Productions, you see a different side of Bronc Nuts, huh? Yeah, I mean, look, man, A Fizzle, like I said, you might have missed earlier in the stream, I'm not I can't say that, I'm a Republican. I can't say that I'm right-wing. I can't say any of those things. I'm really anti-government. I'm anti-establishment. I'm for transparency, for truth, for a fair game, for democracy, for a free market, for free capitalism. None of those things we have right now, but it's the best thing in the world. Like, don't get jealous because somebody else is rich. Don't get jealous because somebody is smarter than you and knows how to play the game of life better than you do. Just get smarter, right? I mean, everybody told you you're supposed to pay attention in school when you was going to school, you momos. And if you didn't pay attention when you were in school, well, now you probably are accepting the life that you built for yourself. And I mean, look, that's harsh words and harsh reality. That's not everybody, but it's a lot of people. So capitalism isn't what's wrong with this country. It's the fact that it's not a fair game, right? I don't mind a man getting rich. What I do mind a man getting rich is when he doesn't care who he's got to step on and stab to get to where he's going, and all the rules he's got to break to get in the Ferrari he wants to drive. That's what I have a problem with. And I think that that's what Trump has a problem with, because all Trump wants is a fair game. You know why? Because even in a fair game, he's still going to win. He's still going to be a multi-billionaire. And the reason why is because he knows how to play the game better than the most of the rest of us. And that's just a fact. It's a fact. And that's why the cream rises to the top and the rich get richer, because they put money to work. People complain about that, the rich just getting richer, and let's say like even the cryptocurrency sphere. Like look at myself, for instance. I think I have the 85th or 90th largest Steemit wallet in the world. And people look at my wallet on Steemit and they look at the money that my account is able to generate on the daily basis. And sometimes it's even if I just post a picture and write a small paragraph, the post makes $50 and they're like, well, look, there it is, the rich getting richer. Well, I'm not exactly rich, but I took a big risk. I tied up a lot of money. I'm looking for return on my investment just like anybody is. And the amount of money that we invested should be irrelevant. It should be whatever percentage of what kind of risk we took. And it should also be how much say-so we have within that company. And that's exactly the way blockchain works. And so I'm happy in the future that I think blockchains are coming. Hey, wouldn't it be cool? I mean, think about this. A lot of you probably watching this here on YouTube, you don't know exactly how blockchains work. You've heard the words Bitcoin, especially if you've been watching my channel, but you just don't exactly know how it all integrates and works together, which it's really not hard to figure out. If you want to spend a little time, you can learn it. I mean, I learned it, and believe me, I am not a smart guy. I am just a persistent person that's willing to do the research to get to the bottom of something if I want to know about it. But it'd be awesome that instead of having these voter ID laws and you have to go to the polls and you got to take the stupid ballot down there and have people judge you and hassle at you when you're on the line, you know, the what they call them, the Black Lives Matter folks and the Antifa and all of them that were at the polls, instead of having to do all that, wouldn't it be nice if we could just go to a blockchain format to where everybody who's supposed to have a token, you are a natural born, or well, you are a U.S. citizen, a registered bona fide U.S. citizen, and you have one of these tokens, and the token is, it's ID'd to you, and you're able to just vote with that so that there's no extra votes, there's no trickery. The votes can literally be counted in about 5 seconds, and we can have a fair election. Wouldn't it be nice if we could go to that? Because all the left liberals and Democrats want to say, well, we want to get rid of the Electoral College. Why? The Electoral College was set up so that we wouldn't have one or two large states like California, Florida, or Texas dominate and have a mob rule type of situation. They've also said they want to lower the voting age to the age of 16. Are you kidding me? What does a 16-year-old know about our country? Because I sure as hell didn't know nothing about our country and the way government worked and the history of our country when I was 16. I'm surprised you could even vote when you're 18. I can't believe that the Democrats are using the taxes they are to try to beat Trump in 2020. They're so worried because he's got him now. He has got you, and there is nothing you can do about it. And there's going to be hell to pay because Trump is coming, and all his Trump and MAGA supporters like me, they're coming with it because we want this rectified and we want justice. Somebody is going to have to pay for this fake dossier that happened and this 700 days of bullshit that they put our country through and wasted our tax money. Somebody's paying. And Trump's got to make sure of it. Let's get to the comments. Russia, I'm watching this. What's up with Russia? What's up, King Jaffe Joe? Hey, Phil, you see me talking about the Broncos and hating on the Chiefs. Man, and you know what? That's really what I'm about. That's what I want my channel to be about. I really don't want this to be a political channel because it's not what I intended to do. But I think that this topic is important for us to be discussing on how serious this is. And, to think that there's a coup out there, a deep state of people that are getting on TV and lying to our faces. I mean, just bold-faced lying to us. And a coup trying to commit treasonous acts against our country to overthrow a president. I mean, Donald Trump, there hasn't been no president in the history of this country that's been disrespected more than Donald Trump. Not even close. No one's even been close to have as much disrespect as Trump has had. And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. It really is. Like I said, I'm not saying that he's a saint because I don't believe he's a man. So no man's a saint. But I don't believe that he's as dirty as even 90% of the politicians that have been walking around in Washington, D.C. for 100 years. I don't believe that. King Jaffe Joe, Black Lives Matter does have something to do with Trump. They were showing up at the Democratic debates. They were hassling people, bussing people in. It does have something to do with it. And it's all funded by George Soros, who is basically a Rothschild operative. I mean, if you do the research, it's easy to see. It's easy to see. Follow the money. These guys showed up, had brand new signs, and Antifa had signs, and the shirts, and all of those Antifa, all those groups were all funded to divide us, to divide white against black, Christian against Muslims, divide, everything you can think about. Democrats against Republicans. It's conquer and divide. They want us divided. I don't have any problem with people who are even Democrats. I really don't. Look, I live in a Democratic state. I don't live in a Democratic city, but I live in a Republican city that voted Republican, but the state of Colorado is, come on, it's liberal. They smoke weed here. It's all the way Democrat. This is as blue as you can get here. And so, I'm around a lot of people that like the Democrat Party, and I'm around a lot of people who think Hillary Clinton's the greatest person on the earth. But they're not. These are bad people. They really are. And they're fake, and they're phony, and they're liars. And if you just want to put forth the effort, you can see it yourself. Look, nobody becomes awakened until they want to be. You ain't going to be awakened by listening to me. You ain't going to be awakened by watching 2 YouTube videos. You're not going to be. You're only going to be awakened when you feel it burning inside you that you would rather know the truth, even if it hurts. Even if it means you got to say, man, I messed up here. I was wrong. I've been lied to. I've been brainwashed. I got to undo what I've been done here. And nobody will ever be able to change my mind because I've invested too much time. When you got 13 years of researching governments, wars, money, currency, law, corruption, where all of it started, the power elite, who those people's family members are, the royal family, how it's connected, the Vatican, all of it. When you spend the amount of time that I've spent, then you can try to change my mind, because then you can at least talk on my level. But if you haven't spent that kind of time, you're never going to change my mind because I've invested too much time. And again, stressing, I am not a Republican. I am anti-government. I'm more of an anarcho-capitalist, right? I want the government out of my business, out of my family, out of my money, and provide essentials and let America just thrive. Take the chains off of us. Let this be a real democracy instead of a republic, and we're turning into a banana republic. Kennedy's still the most opinionated president of all time. 60s with a hell of a time to be president. King Jaffe Joe, I gotta agree with you. I really do. Kennedy is a great president, and he's a Democrat. But I believe that the Democratic Party, from when Kennedy was president to the Democratic Party now, it's not 2 different things. It's 2 different worlds. It's 2 different atmospheres. It's 2 different hemispheres. It's so far apart from what that Democratic Party was when Kennedy was president that it's ridiculous. I don't believe that Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. He might have had something to do with it. But every time it's the same story. They said it at Sandy Hook. They said it at Las Vegas. They said it at the JFK shooting. All of them. Multiple shooters. Everybody's saying they heard multiple shots. And then when the official story comes out, it was one lone crazy gunman every single time. And every time we fall for this friggin' trick. Every time. I don't fall for it. My radar's up. The second something happens, I'm looking for holes in the story. And it's just a shame that that's what's being taught and indoctrinated into our children in schools, is that Lee Harvey Oswald shot JFK. He was a lone gunman. Except he never stood trial. So how could we really say that? In this country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. He said he was a patsy. How do I know he wasn't? Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was involved. Maybe he was a CIA operative. He was mind controlled. Maybe he was the only guy. But the fact of the matter is that we don't know. And whatever investigation was done by the corrupt internal CIA, FBI, and government, we damn sure didn't get the truth, just like we don't get it now. The truth don't matter. It really don't matter. Because that's not what we're hearing on the TV. And that's why I cut my cable off. Because I ain't paying for lies anymore. I'm putting my foot down, and I'm taking a stand, and I ain't taking it no more. Just not. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but whatever. What's up, Gary? Hey, thanks for showing up, man. Gary Holland into the stream. I appreciate everybody coming into the stream. I think that, I knew that, anytime you come on here wearing Trump hats, you're going to ruffle a few feathers. But I also know that there's a lot of people that is they're behind Trump, and there's more and more coming every single day, but they're just scared to say it. They're scared to say that, you know what, I think the other side has conned us. I think the other side has pulled a fast one here. But I can't just say I like Trump now. And it's okay. It's all right. You don't need to today. Just let it take one day at a time, and let's see where it goes from here. And believe me, the second I really believe Trump is corrupt, a Satanist, a pedophile, any of those things that I think are just throughout everywhere in Hollywood, the music industry, the government, the second I think he's one of those people, I will turn on him like you ain't never seen. I will burn this hat. But I don't think he's that guy. I really don't. And I think he really wants what's best for all of us. Now, every decision that you make as president, I mean, let's face it, that'd be a hard job. It's a hard job being president. It ain't easy. I mean, think about all the bullets you got to take from just the press. And I mean, it's just miserable being president, which was the other reason why I was like, Trump he's an arrogant guy and he likes power, but he don't like it that much. He likes to play golf and hang out. He's got an awesome family. He likes to do all those things. Why would he take his money and all of his businesses and just ignore what's gotten him to this point to go through all of this misery? And I think it's because of what he said today on TV. I love this country more than anything. I love this country. And I want to see this country fixed. And I'm sad that our country had to go through what we just had to go through and all these accusations. And he's right. He's right, because it shouldn't be like this. And Americans all over the United States should be rejoicing that our justice system worked here. It worked. Trump didn't do anything. They tried to get him they tried to frame him, and it just didn't work. And now that it didn't work, the rats are running. And Trump's going to be following y'all with a blowtorch. Bank on it. Believe it. Believe it. DeAndre Reynolds, man, what's up? If a black man did what Trump did, we would have shot him dead and called him a traitor. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all, DeAndre. Matter of fact, I think Barack Obama, who is a black man, was the worst president in the history of this country by far. There's not even a close second. He's that bad. And a traitor to this country, not a natural born citizen, a liar on his college entrance exams. And the country gave him a lot of respect. Republicans at least didn't accuse Barack Obama of fake dealings with another country. So to say that this would have happened to a black man, he would have been shot dead, is bullshit, because it didn't happen to a black man. And there was a black man in the White House, and the country treated him with respect, even though he shit all over us. Made so many bad trade deals. He tried to bring this country down. And thank goodness Hillary wasn't there to finish it off for him, because that's exactly what they were trying to do. And if you don't see that, it's just simply because you haven't done the research. You haven't had the drive inside you to want to learn, to want to know. It's okay. It's okay, because it takes a hell of a lot of commitment to research. A hell of a lot of commitment to see the truth. And look, I don't claim to know it all. I don't. There's still a lot of things that confuse me where I'm like, man, I thought this was the way this is, but now I'm starting to think it's these guys, right? And so you just have to uncover more, see how it all links together. And what you'll realize is that the world is a very complex place. And there are lots of powers and forces at work in all kinds of directions that you never even thought of. A lot at play, a lot. And it takes a lifetime to even understand it. I mean, it really does. And so if you haven't put forth that time, saying things like that makes you ignorant. I mean, it just does. Panthers God, man, we just ain't talking about football tonight, but I will tell you I like Matt Pratis. But he's a good player. You got yourself a good player. Going to be a leader on your offensive line for sure. I think Trump's got a lot of haters out there, and it's okay. It's because these people are still asleep. They are. They are asleep. and they just don't understand what's really, really, really going on. It's dirty. It is super dirty, and it takes a long time to uncover it. But I encourage all of you to just keep on learning. Like I said, early in the stream, for those of you that missed it, especially if you out there saying, well, the black president, I voted for Barack Obama. Yes, I did. The guy wearing this Trump hat, I voted for Barack Obama. Not the second time, the first time. You know why? Because I believed in all the hope and change. I believed Obama was going to do something good. I believed that Obama, the first black man, America finally needed a chance to get a black man in the White House, and this is a good guy here. I believed it all. Because Obama's a slick talking con man. He's a shark. And he conned me. He tricked me. He got me. He did. Good for him. Good for you, Obama. He won the vote. Because I voted for him. So I ain't no racist. I voted for a black man to be in the damn Oval Office because I thought we needed that type of change. And you know what? I'd vote for another one. I don't have no problem with a black man being in office. A person's skin color don't mean nothing to me. It really don't. It really don't. He's just a man. He's just an American like me. Y'all put your pants on the same way I do. You piss the same way I do. You eat the same way I do. You breathe the same air I do. There's no difference between you and me. Other than skin color, no difference, in my opinion. Now, I know that that's not a lot of people's opinion in America, and I know that there is a lot of racism, and racism is real. I don't tolerate it. I don't. I treat everybody with respect. I don't care what country you're from, and I don't care what your skin color is, and I really don't even care what your religion is. I mean, I'm a Christian, but if you're a Muslim, I'm not going to shun you. I'm not going to say hi to you. I'm not going to not hold the door open for you if you're walking into a restaurant, because none of that matters to me at this point. It's just, hey, this little old lady needs help. Oh, she's a Muslim. I ain't holding the door open for her. I'm not like that. It don't matter to me. So I don't think that that's the sentiment from a lot of people. I know there's a lot of horrible people in this world. I mean, look, I played college baseball in the southeast part of the United States. And I also lived in Arkansas for a minute, and I've seen it. It's real. Racism's bad, and it's a shame, and it's unfortunate, and it breaks my heart to see it happen because it's exactly what this government wants to do. They don't want blacks and whites to be friends with each other. I mean, they don't, because if it is, they got a problem. Because then we can all gang up on the government and turn against them, and they got a real problem. So they can't have us being friends. They can't. So they've got to use brainwashing and the liberal media and TV to trick people into believing that the other person's the enemy and start all of the division. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. And I wish more people would just take the time to research, to realize that we're being played. I mean, we really are. We're being played. And I think a lot of this is going to end up getting straightened out before it's all said and done. But I mean, you can look at all these left-wing groups and all these groups that were against Trump. They were well organized. They had brand new buses. They were advertising for these people on Craigslist. They had brand new signs. Everything was put together just right because they were paying people to do this. And this was all funded by George Soros, who's connected to the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. And George Soros has been well connected to the Rothschild family since the day he turned his back on his fellow Jews during the Holocaust. George Soros is a bad guy, a horrible guy, like a devil, evil. And he has manipulated a lot of people in this world. And that's why we're at where we're at. They want this division. So if I'm saying anything, man, like, get together, right? Get together, Americans. It don't matter if you're black or white. Come over to my house, right? Let's talk this out. Let's talk it out, because I don't hate you. I want to help you try to understand what I really think is going on in this world. And I want to hear your opinion, too, of what you think is going on, because that's how we uncover the real corruption, the real people who are traitors to America, who want to see us go down. They do not want to see us succeed. They want to take us down. It's hard to see because they're well funded. They're well connected. They're in a homie hookup network. They're above the law. So there's things that they can do that they can make happen that we can't even imagine. And it's unfortunate that it's that way. It really is. King Jaffe Joe, I will join your next live stream. I watch a lot. I mean, everybody who's in here right now, and thanks again for everybody being in here. I appreciate everybody showing up into the stream. I mean, I really do. There's a lot of people you could be watching on YouTube tonight and right now, and you're choosing to watch me, and I thank you for that. But I will come to your stream. I do watch your videos. I mean, I can't catch every single video because I got a lot going on in my life. I'm running a couple different businesses. But I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Man, hell, I ain't got no cable TV, so I might be watching YouTube, right? I use YouTube to learn a lot about a lot of things. I mean, pretty much anything I want to learn about. I mean, I want to learn how to barbecue, you know, or like, let's say barbecue or roast on my grill or whatever, on my smoker. I'll watch a YouTube video. And so, I mean, there's a guy playing in the AAF football league. What's it, Perez or whatever, for the Birmingham Iron or whatever. He learned how to play quarterback on YouTube. Got to college as like the 7th string quarterback and then set all these records. The next thing here he is getting a paycheck now. So what I'm saying is there's a lot that you can learn. There's a lot of people out there that are smart that'll take the time and uncover some things and provide some facts and then just let you make your own decision. So, you know, back to your statement there, King Jaffe Joe. I will show up in your next live stream if I see it going on, and I'll try to chime in. I'm interested in what everybody has to say. I am not pigeonholed into my opinion into thinking that I'm right and everybody else is wrong. That's not who I am at all. I want to get to the truth, and I want everybody to be treated fair. I want us all to play in a fair game. Everybody to pull their weight. And for us to all unite as you Americans and turn on our government and demand that they do a better job helping the people of this country who need it. This country needs it. This is the most powerful nation in the world with a lot of resources. And if we don't watch what we're doing, that can all go away. You know, it's real easy not to know what's going on in the world, because when we wake up every single morning, there's not a machine gun aimed at us when we're trying to walk to our car. Well, maybe in some places in America, but not in most places. And in other countries, that's not the case. People are more in tune with what's going on in world politics, and now is interesting times. I mean, it really is, and it's time to be awake more than ever and question everything, and that's including Trump. Right? He's fair game. He's the president of the United States. We should be holding Trump's feet to the fire. We should be. And again, I'm not saying Trump's a saint. Not at all. Because I know he's not. He's a sinner, just like all of you watching this and the person making this video. We're all sinners. But I don't believe he's evil. I don't believe he's a pedophile. I don't believe he wants to bring America down. I don't believe that he doesn't want the black man to succeed. I don't believe that he's a racist. I don't believe that he's not a family man. I don't believe that he's not about truth and liberty and the pursuit of freedom and happiness. I don't believe he's not any of those things. So to me, Trump's golden right now. He's golden right now in my eyes, and that's all there is to it. You learned how to change your corporation? Is that what you meant on YouTube? Well, what do you do for a living, King Jaffe Joe? Impeach Trudeau. Hey, Trudeau's another one of them dirty ones, Bondi. I mean, he is. I mean, Justin Trudeau is a joke. I mean, he's a joke of a politician for Canada. And unfortunately, there's just so many guys like Trudeau and Angela Merkel and people all over the world that are, you know, involved in all of this dirty stuff. But I think that it's not only being turned over here, it's being turned over all across the world. And I think it's what's got the global elite worried so bad, because they know that they're getting exposed. They know that people are waking up. They know that people are going to start uncovering the facts. And when it really starts steamrolling, I think, you know, they're not going to be safe walking down the street. They're just not, because once people find out what you've been doing, I mean, look, it's hard to know. People are good at covering things up. People are real good at covering things up and hiding what they got going on in their life. And Eventually the sunlight will be shined on all of the darkness, and when it is, all of that'll be rooted out, and those people won't be safe anywhere in the world. Now, all we can do is just pray for that day to come. That's all we can do. Trudeau gave $1 million to a terrorist because he was in Guantanamo Bay? I don't know nothing about that. Tell you the truth, man, I don't really pay attention to Trudeau that much. I love Canada. I've been there once or twice, and I only pretty much Canada and the United States. It's almost like we're the same thing. We got some small nuances between our two countries, but pretty much the same people. And I've met a lot of Canadians. I tell you the truth, I've never met a Canadian that I didn't like. And I've spent a fair amount of time around a lot of Canadians. I found them to be awesome people. And I hope the people in Canada, I hope they are awakened and they start talking amongst each other and they reunite as a country and they start demanding things that being done right in their government. It's time to watch what everybody's doing, right? It just is. You got to watch what people are doing because there's so much trickery and shady stuff going on that it's hard to see. It really is. It really is. Anyway, that's all I really want to talk about tonight was just the fake dossier. And all we've heard is, how Russia and Trump and collusion and this whole thing, how Trump was going to be handcuffed and drug out of the White House and in jail for the rest of his life. And you got these crazy people like Maxine Waters and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi beating the war drums and saying how they're going to get this president impeached, and AOC going off the rocker, taking us not even, I don't even know what she's preaching, right? It's not socialism. It's like way past that. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. AOC is so far to the left of Bernie Sanders, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So the play for the Democrats probably coming up is that she's desensitizing people to how far it could really be and rallying those people. And then they'll have a candidate emerge and go, yeah, they're using her as just a talking head, right? Because she can't be president anyway. And they'll try to go to somebody that's more refined and try to package it to us that this is going to be good for lower income families. Well, I believe in capitalism. I do. I believe in capitalism. And as long as it's a fair game, don't be mad that a man's making more money than you are. But just smarter and at life and better playing the game. Now, do I agree? Some people, hey, they started with something, right? And they were able to build it into something. And there's a lot of impoverished communities where there's some bright, brilliant people in those communities that just don't get a chance. They don't get a chance because they don't have the money. I understand that that's a problem in this country, and it's something that we got to figure a solution out to, because I want to see the best and the brightest running this country. I'm making a plea right now to millennials. You millennials, there's like 56 million baby boomers, and I think there's like 87, 88, 89 million millennials. Millennials are going to be running our country. You guys are going to be a big part of the vote in 2020, and I'm just begging you to don't listen to your friends. Don't listen to that crooked Rachel Maddow or crooked Chris Matthews on Hardball or any of those talking heads that are on the mainstream media. Do your own research, get to the facts, stick to the facts, and make your own decision. If that decision ain't Trump, I don't care. That's what's great about this country. Make your vote and make your vote count. And whatever the majority is, I'm willing to, electoral college, I'm willing to live with that. Just like I was willing to live with Obama being our president the second time around. I voted for him the first time. After I realized what he's done, I was like, this is a con man right here. This is an old-fashioned liar, a con man, not born in America, lied to us so many times. Provable, guaranteed, for sure, con man, liar. And I accepted the fact that more Americans wanted him in the office than didn't want him in the office in his second term. What am I going to do about it? I cast my vote. I want my vote to count. I believe that it did, and we didn't win. And I'm okay with that, because that's what America should be. And we need to get away from fake voting and all these lies and fake media, because this is destroying our country. We need to stop fighting amongst each other. Stop accusing your neighbor of worshiping the wrong God. Stop accusing your neighbor of being the wrong color or saying the wrong thing or being the wrong sex, and just unite with each other and understand what these governments are doing to us. This is the OG Bronc Nuts 719 West. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream once again. I know this isn't a video that I typically make on my channel, and don't expect a whole lot more of them, but I think it's an important issue. It's a major milestone in America's history, and it needed to be talked about, and I just wanted to get on and share my 2 cents with you. See you tomorrow, suckers. I'm out.